Hello.
Hang on a second. Let me fix that.
Was Marguerite dealing with that?
How?
Please allow me to.
There we go. All right.
There
I'm
it
back.
is.
All right. Do the thing. Alasdair, that was your cue. Do the
How-
thing.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm Alasdair,
And I'm Marguerite.
and these are our amazing mods. Please, folks, introduce yourselves.
So, yeah, who are these imposters? Hi, everybody. That's right. Tonight we are doing something, I would say a little different. It's more like a lot different, in that our wonderful moderation crew are going to be on camera this evening, and this is our very first TTRPG session. Yes, we've never
Yes.
done this before. We're faking it, really convincingly. So come along with us as we figure out what on earth is going on, like Animal raiding with a party of 14. Hello to the raid who just started. We are just starting this evening. You literally just said hi to everybody. So hi to everybody again. This is our very first TTRPG session, and on the amazing stream in front of you, you have Alasdair. I'm going to have you kick off with introductions, and then I will call on people like a mean teacher.
Very well. Hello, everybody. I'm Alasdair, your co-host. I will be GMing for you this evening.
Wendy, go.
Hi, I'm Wendy, Wendell's 1967. I'm one of your mods, and I've got sprouts. Look at them.
Aww. Zalia, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Zalia. I am wearing a scarf not because of festive spirit, because I'm cold.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to hear that. Ducky, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Ducky. You may know me from the chat. My most festive pin is a horse's skull.
Nice.
That's such a cool pin.
Fantastic. So this evening, what are we doing, everybody? We are playing. Alasdair, this is your cue for the prop. We will be playing Ginger 6, a Christmas card RPG, which was written by Beatrix, Tamsin, and David Moore. And they have lovely given us permission to play this RPG here tonight. Should I tell everybody about the game first? Now that we've done introductions, should I read the intro to the game now?
Read the intro to the game now.
Okay. Christmas is in danger. Again. It's Christmas Eve, and operatives of the notorious terrorist syndicate, Monkey, menacing operation of naughty criminals, spelled with a K, that excel at yelling. They don't, sadly, excel at spelling. Monkey have broken into and taken over Santa's workshop, where they are holding Santa and his elves hostage until their demands, oh, that's a note for the GM, are met. What to do? Normally, the protection of the North Pole falls to the elves themselves, but they've all been captured! It's time for the professionals. The Prime Minister has put in a call to M3, which stands for the Muffin Man, of course. The director of MI6's notorious Drury Lane facility, to dispatch Ginger 6, his crack team of counter-terrorist agents. It's time to show those monkeys what you're baked of. You are a gingerbread person and a member of Ginger 6, the most elite agents ever cooked at 190 degrees Celsius for 10 to 15 minutes and lightly dusted with icing sugar. You're tough, resourceful, deadly, and delicious. Shall we meet the team? I'm going to just pick on people again. All right, Ducky, you're up first.
Hello, I am playing Keith. Keith is the lone wolf, and his decoration is twirly humbug eyes. Keith has been made in the classic gingerbread style, but he's clearly a bit past it now. The piping's gone a bit grey, the buttons are missing, there's just sort of like the scrungy bit of icing that's used to stick them down left. And bits of him are clearly different from the other bits. They've been made more recently with different dough. Swirling green and black eyes, which are usually hidden behind a pair of ill-fitting sunglasses. In Keith's day, they baked cookies different. They didn't have a fan oven installed. A veteran of many solo missions, he's grizzled and quite stale now, and anyone eating him may develop a mild tummy complaint in 5 business hours. Keith is 1 month from retirement and has been for quite a while because he keeps forgetting to file the paperwork.
Fantastic. All right. Zalia, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So I am playing Ash. They are the brains of the operation, and their decoration is an icing kit. In terms of appearance, let's just say they look like they might actually have been made for Halloween.
It's the same mold, right?
Yeah, it's fine. It's like a goth cookie.
Yes.
Goth brains the operation. I dig it.
Sharp as the cookie cutter they used to make them, Ash has a keen eye and a keener mind. They're into experimentation. They have an extensive collection of flavorings. So have you ever tried chili icing? And they aren't afraid to use what they've found to their advantage.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
All right. And Wendy, let's meet
I'm
Pepper.
I'm playing Pepper. She is. She's the glue of the team. Ash and Keith, they're both amazing, skilled operatives, but that kind of brilliance, it comes with a price, and they need someone to understand and support them and keep the team working harmoniously together. By force if necessary, and using my special get-along gumdrops if all else fails. So Pepper is a bit patchy, a bit crumbly. They've got a couple of cracks, maybe a few missing crumbs, but their defining feature is gumdrops. Gumdrops everywhere. Gumdrop buttons, gumdrop hair like a big rainbow afro, gumdrop eyes, nose, mouth, belt, boots,
Just
random spots everywhere. Just if
gumdrops
there's a
all the
gap,
way down.
it's got a gumdrop in it.
Cool.
She's a bit overbaked, bit undermixed. She's got a rather uneven distribution of spice, so she leaves kind of slightly spicy, powdery footprints. You might almost say that they walk a bit gingerly. I'm so
I just want to
sorry.
enter into the record. I didn't do that joke.
All right. And that's our team. Alasdair, set the scene.
Fantastic. Well, one of the first things that you learn when you do what I've done in the past, which is be paid to write RPGs, is that you look at the basic setting and go, that's nice, and then dig immediately to the left of it. And that's what we've done here tonight. So here's what's going to happen. I have a short opening voiceover. There is a short, think of this as a friend of mine once brilliantly described it, as a cinematic in a video game, a scene that sets the scene. And that will inform our players where they are and what they're doing. And then it's pretty much over to them. Have the emojis ready. The world of Ginger 6 is a place where spice is danger and the starter is adventure. Elite baked operatives defend the world from the evils of the organization known only as Monkey. The worst of the worst, menacing a planet where the only thing that rises faster than the poolish of evil is the dough of justice. Drury Lane are a multinational organization who deploy their baked operatives the world over, including Ginger 6, the best of the best, the yeast of the yeast, like the Kingsmen, but with gumdrops and no racism. It's the week before Christmas, that eternal screaming week that is both 10 minutes and 11 years long. It is the Drury Lane Christmas party. The characters are working security. It's a bustling, happy party until the lights go out. When they come back on, a Gibbon in an Armani suit is on every screen. He smiles and says, "Friends, due to the Baker-Tomei Corporation's legacy of greed around the globe, it is about to be taught a lesson on the real power. You will be witnesses. If our demands are not met, however, you may become participants." He checks his notes. Now, there is the Muffin Man. There is the man who lives on Drury Lane. We smash cut to a view of the LA skyline. A title appears. Pie Hard. You are on the 40th story of the Bakatomi Plaza Tower. The party is 2 floors below you. The roof is 2 floors up. What do you do?
I'm sorry, I've been waiting for this all week.
How are we supposed to RP in these conditions when Alasdair is too funny?
Alasdair.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good night, everybody. Happy Christmas.
Oh, I've laughed so hard my glasses have steamed up.
We're off to a great start already. I love it.
Right.
Okay, folks, this Christmas party isn't going to save itself.
You are in the security office, 2 floors up from the Bakatomi Plaza foyer, if you will, where the Christmas party is taking place. There's exactly what you would expect in a security office in an action movie in there. There are keyboards, there are cameras, there's all this kind of good stuff, all of which has been adapted very much in the style of booster seats for kids at cinemas for small gingerbread people. So the buttons are like very wide. You can just kind of mash them like that. There's nothing is capacitive. There's lots of mouses. It's all good. You can access anything in here like a human would a computer.
Okay, so we can see on the screens, right?
Yes.
What's going on?
Okay.
Down in the ballroom, right?
All right.
Yep.
So the ballroom for the, I assume 3 people watching who haven't seen Die Hard. The best possible way to describe this is imagine a cocaine. This is gonna be really easy. Imagine a cocaine-fueled explosion near a water fountain in the middle of an office block, 38 stories above the ground. Full-on 90s Coke chic. There's a huge water feature. There's little offices off the side. There's this huge party floor with tables on it with food, and a lot of very, very frightened-looking people, all of whom are dressed in baking whites. Moving amongst them is Hans Ibner, who is a very, very sharp-dressed primate, and his staff. You can see 3 very particular types of people. There are 1 or 2 humans who look. It's awkward. This is awkward for them. It's awkward. There are a lot of croissants. They're all wearing berets. And they're all armed. And then something moves in the back of the image, and you realize that when Hans Gibbener delivered his speech, you thought he was standing against a white background. He wasn't. He was standing in front of the largest hench confectionery you have ever seen. He is a good 9 feet tall. He's actually having to hunch over to fit in here. He's rounded. He's wearing a sailor hat at a jaunty angle. Keith.
You can say it, Wendy.
Oh.
You can say
Alasdair.
You recognize him.
Ooh.
This is Pillsbury.
Tell us about Pillsbury, Alasdair.
Pillsbury is a veteran Ginger 6 operative, one of the originals. In fact, one of the people who trained you. Pillsbury is an amorphous blob of sentient dough who can disguise himself. He is in fact a master of disguise. You also know for a fact that this disguise ability does nothing to change the volume of Pillsbury. He is always a white dough man wearing a beret. Sometimes he is a white dough man wearing a beret in another hat. Sometimes he has a moustache. Occasionally he's wearing a dress. His disguise skills are unparalleled and yet remarkably unsuccessful. Pillsbury is also one of the most decorated Ginger 6 operatives on Earth. I mean, obviously not decorated in the same way as Wendy's character is. Decorated in the same sense of kind of medals for field service. So seeing Pillsbury working with one of Monkey's top primates, this is unprecedented.
Unprecedented, very sad.
Yes.
A betrayal, one might almost
Betrayal.
say.
Yep.
It-
Keith stares into the monitor. There may be emotions happening behind the sunglasses. You just don't know.
Distantly, guitars thrash in that kind of "I am sad, meow" kind of way.
All right, lads. So the way I see it, we've got two options. We can get down there and storm the floor and take out the baked goods and just generally squash everything, or we can try and be a bit clever about it. I've got to tell you, I'm erring towards the getting down there and just letting the dough roll.
I don't think we need to go that far yet. I think we should be smart about this. There's a lot of them. We
There's
know
three
that
of us.
Pillsbury's worth about 10.
I refuse to believe that.
Okay. So what are we doing?
Okay, so how many croissants are there?
All right. You can see it's kind of a baker's dozen.
Oh, Alasdair.
I thought he would say, oh, there's about 12, maybe 13. One extra just for show.
You can see them moving around. Interestingly, a lot of them are carrying equipment, which is quite difficult because they have little stubby hands. But they're doing a really good job of it. They're carrying crates in, long stuff as well. Stuff which, from your heavy weapons training, this shouldn't be in the building.
Okay, so that's 3 croissants each and one for whoever finishes first. And then there's the monkey boy himself. Sorry, ape. Let's not be speciesist. And then the big dough man. Yeah, all right, okay. I can see your point. We might be a tiny bit outnumbered here. So, how can we pick them off and reduce their numbers?
What sort of fire suppression system are we looking at?
This is the home of the Baker Tomei Corporation. So essentially, this building is a layer cake, if you will, of offices, baking kitchens, storage, and fire suppression. So there's a lot. I mean, every baker that comes through here burns something eventually. So there's pretty solid fire suppression everywhere.
But we need to keep them occupied until we can get the fire suppression system online. We need a distraction. And I think I have an idea. We need to make them think that they're being visited by royalty of baking. I'm saying we dress up. We disguise ourselves as Paul Hollywood and Mary Berry. We'll keep them occupied. They'll be dying for the Hollywood handshake. And then we lure them to where we need them and set off the fire suppression system.
I see no flaws in this plan.
I mean, I can see one or two, but let's roll with it. So that would be 2 of us are going to need to get down there and schmooze, leaving one of us to get the fire suppression system working.
Well, it sounds like we have at least one person in this party who is a lone wolf and might be used to working on his own.
Yeah, lot of stories about all those times before I knew you guys. I think you'd make a fine Paul Hollywood, and you'd make a fine Mary Berry / Prue Leaf, which depends which era you're in.
I'm old.
All right, Ash.
Okay, so how are we going about this?
Well, I'm not a master of disguise.
I have an icing kit. I'm all stocked up. I think I can get us disguised.
I think it might be time for a roll.
I think we can, go for we're scouting the location. We're looking for the next star baker.
I think, folks, this system is gloriously simple because it fits on 3/4 of a Christmas card. It's basically every roll is done off between 1 and 3d6. If your type of character is relevant to what you're trying to do, then you get 1d6. If your type of character and the equipment you're using is relevant, you get 2. And I believe you get to pick the highest number left. Actually, I'm incorrect.
You
If both
start
your
with
roll
one
and
die, and then you add a die if your roll is relevant, and then you add
Yep.
another die if your decoration is relevant as well. Sorry.
This seems to be a 3d6 roll across the board, Zelia.
I will bring the dice, the box of dice.
So you'll
choose your weapon.
You'll pick the highest of these 3 dice that you're about to roll and report them back to us.
And this is where I probably drop them on the ground and have to rescue them from the dog. 2, and 5.
3 to 5. Tasty.
That's a success. Well done.
The attempt is a success, more or less as intended. It takes a little bit of time, as good art and good icing always does. But in a few minutes, you both closely resemble the hosts of Great British Bake Off, who aren't objectively terrible and should be fired.
Well,
okay.
Keith,
let's get down there and get sampling.
Keith, what are you going to be doing while Ash and Pepper are arranging your distraction?
So while everyone downstairs is distracted, I'm going to find an alternate way down and see if there's a way to trigger the fire suppression system that does not involve setting something on fire. But he's not above that. He will do that.
Excellent. Excellent.
Studying the schematics, trying to find alternate way into the ballroom.
Brilliant. We will start with Team Ballroom, and then we will be with you in a few moments. Okay, so Team Ballroom. You're all dolled up. You're looking good. It's time to go eat some stuff.
It's time to make an entrance.
You make your way down the corridor, and of course, the corridors of Bakatomi Plaza are worryingly empty because everyone was at the party. And you get to one of the main elevator banks, and an elevator opens in front of you. Standing in front of you are Jean and Jean. They are croissant. They're croissant, but they're very angry. They look at you and go, "Why are you not at the party? Hands above your head."
Good evening, gentlemen. We were on our way to the party to make our grand entrance. I hope you understand. We couldn't possibly arrive at the same time as everybody else because we're the judges, you know.
Ugh. Judges? Judges of what?
Look, I'll tell you, mate. You're kind of getting in the way. We're busy people, busy bakers.
I do not care about your
I can see that
transatlantic confectionery. How many times has your butter been folded?
I can see that your lamination's not that good. I wouldn't be giving you a good score. So why don't you just move out the way?
He adjusts his bearing. I will escort you to the party, and we will see what Mr. Gibbon has to say. Come with me. You notice he had no way has moved. The elevator doors have opened, and Jean, not Jean who's talking, but other Jean, has at one point rather awkwardly had to lean forward and shove a hand through the doors to stop them closing because angry Jean is just angry. So the elevator doors close. You go down to the party. Doors open, and you have never seen more terrified bakers in one place before in your life. But of course, this actually helps with your role, because what do Mary Berry and Paul Hollywood look at every week other than terrified bakers? So you just feel right at home. All kinds of folks, all dressed in chef whites, all just kind of milling around and trying not to make eye contact as the croissant make their way through, and all of them carefully avoiding an office at the far end, one you are led directly to. When you get there, as the crowds part, suddenly you see Pillsbury, who is colossal and wearing a tie. You realize all of a sudden that you've actually seen Pillsbury from the moment you stepped out into the foyer. It's just because of his coloration and the tie, you just assumed he was an unusually large baker. Pillsbury looks down at the pair of you, and it takes a while. He goes, "And you are?"
Mary Berry and
Paul
surely-
Hollywood, obviously.
surely,
It's you know us.
And I'd just like to point
Hollywood.
out to everyone in the room, 5 minutes. There are 5 minutes remaining. So get your decorations ready.
Very quickly, the bakers in the room have turned to look at this conversation, and you can see a good 3 or 4 of them going, and one who is very clearly like, "Not that. That's not them. What the hell?" Pillsbury looks down at you some more. "If you are, as you say, Mary Berry and the Hollywood, there are only 2 ways you could prove that to my satisfaction. The first is to point out what is wrong with my colleague here," and Pillsbury points at Angry Jean. "So, what is wrong with him?"
You're obviously not paying him enough.
Jean, this guy gets it. Oh, I knew I liked you. True. What else?
Well, the challenge this week was to create a comforting Christmas special. I think you'll find that there's not nearly enough booze in his makeup, so obviously a little bit more work there, perhaps some more time injecting some booze in the laminate between the layers of butter.
Angry Jean actually bows to you, which is quite difficult when you're shaped like a croissant.
Oh, there's no need to bow.
It's just, and he just goes, "Madame, my apologies. This is a high-stress situation, a very high-stress job. I feel like I did not treat you with the courtesies that a professional of your stature deserves. Please accept my apologies."
Oh, well, I mean, one does like to be gracious, so of course.
Yeah, we can take it when you know when you need to work on something. Accept it with grace.
Quite. "Mr. Hollywood, please allow me to shake your hand." And this mitt of dough just descends towards you. What do you do?
I'm going to shake his hand with the kind of serious, confidence of Paul Hollywood, where he does look kind of like he wants to murder you.
This is really great. "I will kill you." Yeah. It's an interesting sensation. If you ever shaken hands with a pillow, or shoved your hand into focaccia dough, but floured focaccia dough, so it doesn't stick. It's just kind of there. There's clearly tremendous power behind it, but not a tremendous amount of force. And you feel, to your surprise, like you actually get the better of this. Because, I mean, after all, Paul Hollywood lives to shake people's hands harder than they shake his. That, beards, and sadness. That's his life. But Pillsbury shakes your hand and removes his appendage. You note, by the way, that he basically has mitten fingers in this form. So it's just like a paw. It is an honor to have you both with us. Please follow me. And he leads you through to Hans Gibbener. Meanwhile, back upstairs.
This might actually be a
Keith,
really good place to take just a little short break if we're going to switch the scenes.
Cool.
That's okay. Everybody in the chat, if you're new to joining us, the way Twitch runs ads has changed. We have some more visibility into them. So we're going to step away now for like a 2-3 minute break. This is your chance to take a stretch, to maybe get a refill, to maybe go look up the crib notes to Die Hard and try to figure out what's going on. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes, everybody. All right, everybody, and we're back.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Disguised as Paul Hollywood and Mary Berry, Zalia and Wendy have crept downstairs to try and talk to Hans Gibbener and lead him to a place where the fire suppression system can be turned on and drown him or drench him in water, or at least do terrible things to his various yeasty criminal accomplices. Meanwhile, upstairs, Ducky has gone looking for the fire suppression system. So, where are we looking?
Just sort of in walls. Keith's a bit short to reach most of the sort of buttons, but anything that looks like it might turn on the fire suppression system, like smoke detectors, that sort of thing.
All that good stuff. Okay. So you're making your way through one of the currently abandoned levels of Bakatomi Plaza. This is actually where one of the offices is, and you kind of get the feeling that people haven't moved in yet because the desks are all really tidy and there's no flour anywhere. So you're just making your way through this big open plan office, and the LA skyline is laid out in front of you. When you hear something, you hear a clanking. You hear clanking footsteps. Something methodical and mechanical is making its way across the same floor as you. It's just kind of kind of like servos working. What are you doing?
Well, briefly considering going after it with a hatchet or any other bladed weapon I might have, realizing that this might cause people to look more closely at people who may or may not be Paul Hollywood and Mary Berry downstairs.
Which could get awkward.
And going to try and find somewhere to hide.
Okay. One of the kind of combination office kitchen stations is actually pretty well equipped. There is a mixing bowl in there. And some quite big stuff you could hide behind or in.
Going behind the mixing bowl. And
Perfect. Okay, so you crouch down, weapons ready, trying not to have traumatic flashbacks. The noise gets nearer and nearer, and then you see it reflected in the metal as it walks right past your desk. It's a form, looks like you, but it's about twice the size, and it's metal. The sounds you can hear are its limbs moving as it walks along. It's a pandroid. It gets to the end of the row.
Okay, we're all gonna say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Alasdair.
Yes. Thank you. It gets to the end of the row, turns a perfect 90 degrees, and marches off. You're safe for now. What you doing?
Well, don't fancy running into that again. So I'm going to look for an alternate, less travelled way down to downstairs. So I assume staircases, I would have to go past it. I'm not keen on that. Going to look for a vent.
A vent. Okay. There's some good vents, some primo ventage. Because, I mean, as part of the Drury Lane organization, the Bakatomi Plaza building has been designed with the understanding that sooner or later, someone's probably going to need to crawl through the vents. So there is a floor-level air conditioning vent directly across from you.
Gonna take a fancy running jump off the counter, slide across
Probably
the floor.
with some kind of somersault in there, maybe.
Oh yeah. Keith has been doing this a long time. He's really good at this. No one's around to see it, but that's fine. Keith knows. And straight into the vent, hopefully, without a whisper of a place where a button used to be.
Are you using any special ability to do this, or?
Well, he is by himself. I don't know if that counts as a lone wolf thing.
I think it probably could. Give me a dice roll.
So that'll be 2 dice and report the highest.
6.
Oh, crumbs.
No. A 6 is perfectly baked, isn't it?
Perfectly baked.
So that's an overwhelming success.
Have you ever seen a counter-terrorist specializing gingerbread person nail a superhero three-point landing? Well, now you have. You land silently, perfectly. You're the tiniest little part of your forward momentum just plinking up against the vent, which wobbles for a second and then falls. The back of your brain, the tactical part of your brain goes, if the pandroid hears that, I'm cooked. And even as it thinks that, goes, nah, Not today. The thick plush carpet catches the vent cover perfectly. And you're in. What lies in front of you is the best way to describe it is picture a corridor from a spaceship in a mid to low budget science fiction movie. Everything is very shiny, but there's not a tremendous amount of features. It's a vent. It goes ahead about 20 feet, goes off to the left, and also goes down. Are you looking for anything in particular in here, or are you just thinking of using the vents to traverse?
Mostly using the vents to traverse. At times, I may dramatically remove my sunglasses in order to use my X-ray vision that I assume I have.
Walls that right up. I have my headphones for a second. Nice.
And yeah, just to check my heading, make sure I'm actually heading for the ballroom.
All right. We're going to leave there for a moment. We'll cut back to you in a little bit. Down in the ballroom, Pillsbury leads you through to the boardroom that lies off the ballroom because big business is crazy. I mean, when you have that amount of money, why wouldn't you have a ballroom with a fountain in it and a conference room just next to it? The 90s were wild. Sitting at the end of the conference table on a booster seat is Hans Gibner. He's playing with a cat's cradle as you come in. Without looking up, he goes, Pillsbury's, I said, better be good. I told you I need my monkey's cradle time. Because you are so close to Pillsbury and because even a micro expression on a being that size is pretty huge, you can tell he's rolled his eyes. You can tell he's just gone. They have had the conversation about whether or not this is a cat's cradle or a monkey's cradle more times than Pillsbury ever wanted to have any conversation about etymology with anyone. Then he looks up, looks at the pair of you, and bounds down the table, moving with that terrifying full-limbed grace that the primates have, sliding to a halt and dropping, adjusting his suit jacket and striding towards you. Aha! Mr. Hollywood, Miss Barry, it is an honor to see you. I was not expecting you here this evening. Do please come in. What can I do for you?
Well, you see, we're planning for the next season of the Great British Bake Off, and we heard there were some excellent bakers here who might be candidates.
So we thought we'd pop in and set a little challenge, just a small one, nothing special, not a showstopper, just perhaps a short bake to see if we can weed out the better bakers amongst those gathered here this evening. I have to say, so far we've been just so far we've been a little disappointed by the quality of the lamination, but the evening is yet young.
They still have time to come back from it.
Is there anybody out there that has particularly caught your eye?
Well, I mean, this large gentleman here is, of course, a trifle underbaked.
But excellent dough structure.
Thank you.
It's been worked to perfection, so I think it could be saved.
Pillsbury eyes Hans on that. You can almost hear that. Ah! See, I find it particularly interesting. Mr. Pillsbury has been assisting me with this endeavor for some time now. And I had received assurances from him and from my other colleagues that this process would be carried out with no slips. However, I regret to inform you that, well, no plan survives contact with the enemy, as I'm sure you're aware. I feel I must ask, though. Well, I have two things to ask, but the first one is, I would say, the most important. You know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
Yeah, it's the Muffin Man. So,
I think we know of the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man.
That is what I said. Why are you repeating everything I said? The Muffin Man. Do you know him?
Are we talking which are we talking English muffins or
the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane? I have need of his skills, more specifically his palm print.
I mean, we obviously, in our professional capacity, have met the Muffin Man. I don't see him here this
The
evening.
Muffin
though.
Man?
The Muffin Man.
You've met the Muffin Man?
Yes, we've met the Muffin Man.
Who lives on Drury Lane?
Exactly.
Well, what is he like?
Well, he's not here this evening, for one thing.
Again, my nemesis eludes me. Although, Jean tells me that John located you on the upper floors. Were you here for some kind of meeting?
Well, we've been meeting with the producers. We're planning to, it takes a lot of people to put together a TV show. Lots of planning to do.
I mean, the ingredients alone, it's a major undertaking.
Well, I mean, of course. May I ask who the producers of the show
are? By name or the company?
Would by any chance one of them be the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
I mean, could it be the Muffin Man?
Yes, the Muffin Man. That is what I am asking. Is the Muffin Man one of the producers of the show? I feel like we are going around in circles here. Let me see if I can perhaps recontextualize the conversation a little bit. I am obviously interested in speaking to the Muffin Man and gaining access to his unique properties.
Sorry,
However,
point of order.
Yes.
The Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man, yeah. Yeah, the Muffin Man.
The Muffin.
The Muffin Man.
Muffin. I'm sorry, I've completely lost track of what you were saying. The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man, exactly, the Muffin Man. As Jean insists on calling him L'Homme Muffin. Best known for his work on Drury Lane. That one's the Muffin Man.
Yes.
Right. So, in the absence of the Muffin Man, may I ask whether any of the bakers out there meet your very exacting standards?
Well, we haven't yet had an opportunity to judge their bakes. As soon as we entered the room, of course, we were brought straight through to meet you.
I'm formulating an idea. He touches a com link on the desk. Goes, Jean, no, this Jean, no, it's the other one. The one in the bed. Oh, shut up. One of you come in here. There is a pause, and one of the croissant steps through the door. Boss, what is it? I wish to organize a test. The croissant looks at him blankly as we have not had time to study. And then you discover what it looks like when a Gibbon in an Armani suit pinches the bridge of his nose to attempt and fail to stave off a stress headache. We have been over this. The test will not be for you. The test will be for the bakers. Find 4 of them, Jean. Find the 4. In fact, take these 2 with you. They will examine the other bakers and pick out for me the 4 best ones. And in addition, a further 20 possible candidates. Sequester them off to one side in one of the test kitchens and in one of the other test kitchens and bring me the largest pan we have. We are going to conduct an audition. Smash cut upstairs.
Keith in the vents still.
Keith in the vents, crawling along in his little gingerbread man vest, doing action movie stuff.
Yeah, it's going really well. Every now and again he has to get up and do like a slide because he's quite small and the vents are quite big.
And having fun.
Yeah. Keith's having a great time. This is what he was made for.
Having the best time. So what you isolate pretty quickly is that there are 2 or 3 types of wiring in the vent. There's what you're pretty certain is the air conditioning system. There are fume cupboards, which seem to be rigged in like stacks up the building. So essentially, there's a ventilation system right at the bottom, which fires air upwards. And the idea is that when trainee bakers completely screw up, the best possible thing that they can do is just turn the fume cupboard on, and then the air pushes it all up out of the roof. And there's also what seems to be the electrical and wiring systems, and you're pretty sure fire suppression's in amongst those. Those are in yellow cabling, which leads down and kind of around to the edge of the. You're shaking your head. On?
No, you're good.
Okay, which kind of leads down and around to what you're pretty certain is the edge of the building. But this is good because you've seen the electrical trunking around here. And again, as you go along, you hear the occasional creaking of the pandroids as they're searching the floor. And then you hear something else. You hear two of the humans dragging something very heavy. What are you doing?
Is there like a vent opening nearby that I can go and peer through?
Oh, yes.
Yep, I'm doing that.
What you can see are two of Gibboner's human hench persons dragging a large green crate into position by one of the windows. They set it up. There's a tripod which they drill down into the floor, and they place what at first you think is a rocket launcher on there. It's this huge green tube. You've done heavy weapons training with these things. They're the most fun. Recoil like a absolute son of a bitch, but they will take out pretty much everything. So you're turning away to go because you figured out what they're doing. Basically, they're fortifying the position. They're obviously planning to be here for a while, which where's your tactical brain kicks in. You go, all right, so obviously they've called the police. The police have been alerted. They're on the way. They're planning for a SWAT team to storm the building. So they're planning to hold the position. And then see the tank of icing sugar that is hooked up to the back of the rocket launcher. It's about 4 feet tall. And this is the good stuff. This is the unctuous stuff. You can tell because there's a fan in it. There's like a paddle in the bottom of the tank, which is swirling it like a kind of a slush puppy. And they hook it up to the back of the launcher. Then they load a warhead into the front of it, the front of which is transparent, and you can see the icing fill up.
Are they leaving at all, or are they just staying there doing that?
They're staying there and doing that. And as you watch, suddenly you hear a noise from directly beneath you. There's a third shadow in the room. You're in the vents. The room is beneath you. You can see the two guys by the window. And there is a shadow being illuminated from behind you, showing a figure is standing directly under the vent. A crescent-shaped figure. Then you hear a clank. One is 20 feet away. And you watch in horror as the bottom of the vent you're in moves upwards as someone pushes a gun barrel into it. What are you doing?
I would like to drop some sort of explosive at it and run down the vent as fast as I can.
What are you carrying with you?
I believe I have grenades.
I am completely unsurprised.
There's a
says
list
all
somewhere.
members have been
We've all
equipped
got
with
pistols, rifles, knives, smoke grenades, night sight goggles, body armor, rappelling rope, radio, and so on. I would call for actual grenades under a so on.
I think
Totally. Yeah, if you look under
That's
so on
fair.
in the dictionary, it lists grenades right there.
Grenades.
Yeah.
There's pictures.
Grenades, sticking plasters, coffee, anything you need. Cool. So you pull a grenade, you drop it, and you sprint the other direction. You don't see this, and in later years, when you finally get around to retiring, that will be one of the very few sources of disappointment in your career because you know just how badass you looked. You running in slow motion down this vent as the grenade blossoms into a ball of flame behind you, rolling in slow motion in all directions. You don't see the croissant that it cooks as the explosion drops downwards, but you know it does. All you see is that you hurtle down one of the fume cupboards as the flames hurtle over you. And it looks so cool.
It does.
And then you realize you're still kind of falling.
That's fine. So, while storing they shouldn't have played with fire in the back of Keith's mind, he's gonna. Are there still wires going down?
Oh yeah,
He's gonna grab for a wire to try and slow his descent.
I'm gonna need a lone wolf roll for that because that is peak lone wolf badassery.
That sounds like a 2 dice roll to me.
Yeah, it does.
Dear, my highest is a 3.
Okay, so
It is
first
a
off,
success.
I want us all to highlight just how incredibly badass the image of a gingerbread person skydiving down a vertical vent as flames pursue them down it truly is. You steer towards a wall, you grab some wiring, you slam into the wall, and you feel part of your hand tear away, and you plummet down, and then you hold, and you hang there for a moment, take a breath. Then you realize you're being watched. There is a vent directly in front of you on the opposite side of the shaft that you're hanging onto, and there are a pair of shiny eyes in there.
How shiny?
Biological and reflective.
Good. I am heading towards the eyes, pulling something pointy from. I assume they've seen me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So they see this now partially wounded gingerbread person basically kick off the back wall of the vent, front flip across it, and land again in superhero pose and draw a combat knife.
Yep.
At which point the rat that has been watching you goes, "Oh, all right, hang on. I thought I was able to eat you. Hey, sorry about that. I thought you was dead. My name's Argyle. How you been?
Hi, Argyle. It's nice to meet you. The thing about eating, if you're interested in soggy croissants, I'd come down to the ballroom. We're gonna be laying on a real buffet down there. I tell you.
I love a good soggy croissant. Are they mouldy?
Not yet, but if you leave them for a few weeks after they're soggy, they'll go.
Ripe croissant. Argyle's going to eat well tonight. All right.
Yeah.
So what brings you to my fine vertical abode?
Oh, well, normally I work up there. But due to various circumstances, I've had to come down here, and I'm heading to the ballroom to make those soggy croissants happen for you, my friend.
All right. That's really nice. I actually work in infrastructure. I do cables. Right.
Cables? Fun work.
Because walk with me. We'll talk as we go. Because my dad, right, he was an elf, and well, I say he was an elf. He was a rat, but he was a rat at the North Pole. And Santa always said, if you're at the North Pole, you're an elf, unless you're at the South Pole. We don't talk about the South Pole. So anyway, my dad was adopted, right? And he taught me how to speak and all of this stuff. And tiny hands, very good for the little toys. I do microchips and stuff. It's great. Anyway, I'm quite bad at it. Is the thing, because I like eating. I like eating.
Mate. You just got to keep working at it. The first step to being good at something is to be bad at it. You think I've been good at this all my life? I have not.
I'm bad at so many things. I'm going to be great in a little bit.
Yes, you are, my friend.
Anyway, I chewed some stuff I shouldn't, including some cables, and so Santa suggested that I come here and I learn how to not chew cables. And I'm pretty certain it was one of those kind of aversion therapy things where I was allowed to chew anything I wanted, and every now and again it hurt very badly. Have you ever had an electric shock through the teeth? I have. He's just trundling along quite happily. You notice he's got like a little hat on and a little utility vest and all this good stuff. And then it's like, so anyway,
I now require all the fan art in the world of Argyle, please.
So anyway, I look after the wiring, and as you walk along, you notice that all the wiring on this level has an elaborate and yet somehow slightly shaky script, little labels attached to it which say things like "eat," "don't eat," "maybe eat this if very hungry," "full of sparks," and the sparks is spelt with an X.
My whole entire heart.
Can we keep him?
You can absolutely keep Argyle, yes. So, is there anything that I can do to help? Because, mostly I'm just in the vents doing stuff.
Do you know what wires do fire suppression system?
Oh, is that the stuff with the whooshing and
Yeah, lots
yeah?
of washing.
Oh, I love that stuff. I turn that on quite regularly. They get really angry. Come with me.
Yeah. I really liked some whooshing in the ballroom. At a certain
Whooshing
point.
in the ballroom. All right, I think I could do that.
Yeah, lots of
Okay.
space in there. You can fit a lot of whooshing.
Yeah, I know, just a thing. Come with me. So he leads you off into the vents. Meanwhile, in the ballroom, at the exact moment, because action movie logic is the fucking best, at the exact moment that you are led out by Hans Gibboner and Pillsbury, the building is rocked by an explosion. You two share a look. No one else is in your eye line, but that look is... Given a size against Pillsbury, find him.
Yeah, Whooshing in the Ballroom is this universe's Panic at the Disco cover band.
Whooshing in the ballroom. So, it seems that you have been lying to me. Yes, Miss Barry, you have willfully participated in the campaign of misinformation, and you, Mr. Hollywood, if that is your real name, you have both concealed the truth from me, the truth that has just exploded 3 floors up. My adversary, my nemesis, if you will, the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man, yeah, the Muffin Man. He is here.
I thought he was on Drury Lane.
Who's the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
Yeah, it's the Muffin Man. Drury Lane was just the beginning. He walks among us. I knew he was here. My intelligence confirmed it. He is moving against me. Very well. There's no problem with this. This is why I brought the croissant. After all, in the end, aren't all baked goods disposable? There is a ripple that moves through the room around everyone that hears him say that. There is that kind of, mother. God. Even Pillsbury's like... Gibbon claps his hands, and because he's a Gibbon, that's a lot of clapping. Because Plan B. Very well. If you'll remain here for 1 moment. Pillsbury, set up the camera. Pillsbury, we have cameraman. Pillsbury, set up the camera. Pillsbury sighs, stomps over to the nearest camera, puts on a headset, and suddenly you know it's Pillsbury. You know it's a 9-foot-tall doe homunculus, but at the same time, you see a cameraman. You see a kind of loosely pixelated cameraman. It's kind of cool. And come on, Marv, come on. Very well. We're broadcasting now. Gibbon adjusts his tie, takes a deep breath, and goes, this message is being posted on the Baker Tommy Plaza YouTube channel. A channel I note with interest has 2 other videos on it, one of which is a tour of the entire facility, which takes place in under a minute. The other of which was accidentally posted here by someone called Argyle, which appears to be a video about how great wires are. Amateurs. Good evening. My name is Hans Gibboner. I assume you recognize the futility of direct action against me. Yes, Muffin Man, I'm talking to you. I know you have a YouTube subscription. I made sure of it before I subscribed myself. We have no wish for loss of life beyond the occasional croissant. My demands are simple, and this video will be mailed to the Los Angeles Police Department very shortly. There's this. I have comrades in arms around the world who are languishing in prison. The American State Department enjoys rattling its saber to its own ends. Now, it can rattle it for me. The following primates are to be released from their captors. Ernst Stavro Babunfeld. Dr. Rhesus. Francisco Scaramouche. Burbot Dewey. Macaque Zakak Chillavek. Und Dave. When these great apes are free and not a moment before, the hostages in this building will be taken to the roof and they will accompany us in helicopters to the Los Angeles International Airport. There you will be given further instructions. You have 2 hours to comply. If I do not hear from you in 1 hour, 4 bakers will be baked into a pie. If a further 30 minutes passes, 20 of their colleagues will join them. Pillsbury cuts a feed. He turns back to you.
I don't know. The thing with baker pies, I don't think you've had the meat. It needs to be smoked. It needs to be hung for several months to give you the quality that you need.
Also, I can't help but notice you haven't yet blind baked your pastry case, and you know what that leads to?
On the contrary, Frau Berry brings
Soggy
forth the
bottom.
case. 4 human mercenaries who just have this kind of look on their face wheel in the largest pie base you have ever seen. This thing is 6 feet wide. And it's blind baked.
Oh.
Now you see that is a beautiful crust.
Yeah, that's a good bottom right there.
Just adore that they're just sticking to the bit here. Well
I think
done.
if you keep up this quality, you will be on track for Star Baker.
Oh, there has never been a baker like me, my friend. I have plans within plans. This is just the beginning. Now, you will assist me. Please accompany me to the other hostages there. I will inform them of my plans. You will pick out the appropriate bakers. Talk with me.
You want us to pick 4 and 20 bakers for you to bake in your pie?
Did I start her? The dedication to confectionery must be absolute. You can tell his accent's getting a little bit stronger. In order to achieve the perfect pie, there is no sacrifice too great. There is no depth too low. Depravity has no meaning. There is only pastry and filling. And you, Mr. Hollywood, to return to your point about meat. You are correct. It is a very good piece of advice. Thank you. But further to that, have you considered fruit pie? Answer me, Hollywood. Fruit pie, your thoughts?
What fruit are we talking about?
What fruit do you have, man?
You're the person here who apparently has the kitchens.
Well, what greater fruit pie is there in the United States of America than apple pie?
It is a classic for a reason.
It is. Perhaps you would like to go with my colleagues here to the kitchens to retrieve some apples for me. Because, Frau Berry, you are correct. It is perhaps inhuman, or at the very least unnecessary at this time for me to have you pick the hostages. After all, a good baker picks his own ingredients. Pillsbury, take them away. Pillsbury leads you off towards the kitchens, and as you go, you see Hans turn to the bakers and goes, you, not you under any circumstances. Go stand up there, lie down and the pie. No reason.
Is it just us and Pillsbury?
Yes.
No attack croissants.
No attack croissants. The attack croissants actually seem quite agitated. Several of them have left the room. Pillsbury leads you through to one of the many deserted corridors and to a stairwell that's marked kitchens and that.
How is Pillsbury acting?
Okay. If he's in front of us,
Mm-hmm.
Can we have one of those conversations where you don't actually talk, but we just gesture?
Perhaps you would like to do that now.
So. Okay, so here's the plan. Which we've just carefully formulated between ourselves.
Hey, it worked
I'm
in
gonna-
RRR, right? Exactly. Just sign language, universal sign language.
I didn't hear any of that, sorry. I'm going to grab a gumdrop.
Okay.
I'm going to hurl it to the ground just in front of Pillsbury, such that he will stick to it. I'm going to, as I'm hurt before I hurl it, I'm going to make sure that a little sprinkle of my special ginger ends up on it, just so it'll sting. Just a little bit, spicy gumdrop.
Remind us what your special ginger does.
So I'm a little bit undermixed, and then with the overbaking, what that means is that I tend to secrete just the odd.
That's a word you want me in association with baked goods.
Just like it's worse than moist, isn't it? Just the odd little sprinkle every now and again, a little trail of somewhat overcooked ginger. So it's not just spicy, it's nasty. And combined with my sticky gumdrops, mate, that shit can eat through glass.
So you're making a sticky mace.
I'm making
trap.
a sticky grenade.
You're making a sticky grenade.
A sticky grenade.
Which the 9-foot battle doe homunculus is going to step on.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
All right, so
I'm going to need some dice for this.
So Pepper's role
are.
is the glue, although it is technically a social thing as opposed to here.
I mean,
and has sticky gumdrops as their decoration. So how many dice should she roll? 2 or 3?
I'm thinking this is a 3.
3 dice roll. Okay, so
Yeah.
tell us the highest, Wendy.
Okay, so 4.
Okay, so that counts as a success.
A tasty success.
Taste it.
So the pair of you are talking whilst Pillsbury is humming Beethoven's Ninth, and you remove a gumdrop and lightly rub it with ginger dust and just go yoink.
Just a heads up.
This is why the sprouts are here. This is great.
Just a heads up, we've got an ad break coming up shortly. So after you describe this scene, perhaps a dramatic cliffhanger is in order.
Pillsbury steps on it. There is a dull but very audible floof. You watch in horror as his foot suddenly balloons out and separates. A partially baked lump of dough is left there. Pillsbury screams once and falls forwards down the stairs.
Okay, wasn't what I was going for, but I'll take it.
He rolls, leaving dough behind him as he goes, slams into the wall and slumps, and his entire form relaxes a little bit. What are you doing?
Pile on, lads, I think. We pile on with
just to be absolute
with the and so on, I think. Let's
be
go
absolutely clear, Wendy.
Maybe pull the pin and throw a couple of and so ons at him.
So what you're talking about is attempting to kick to death, or possibly grenade to death, a 9-foot-tall icon of baked goods.
Yes.
Yeah, right. I just wanted to be sure.
I'm going to inject him with a piping bag full of hot sauce icing.
Oh, that's mean.
So as you run down towards Pillsbury, he looks up at you and goes, "But I applied to be on the show. What the hell?" And reaches for you, and this tidal wave of dough extrudes from one of his hands. What are you doing?
We're taking a quick ad break while they figure out what they're going to do. This is our dramatic break, isn't it? You're about to be gummied up by Pillsbury, slumped in a hallway, having pushed him down the stairs. Okay, everybody, we're gonna take 2 or 3 minutes here to step away. This is a good chance to get a stretch, get a wiggle, get a snack, try to figure out what the heck is going on and how we're gonna rescue the hostages and save Christmas. We'll be right back. We're back.
And we're back. Previously on Pie Hard, Dougie successfully fought a croissant and an icing-covered missile launcher, and then met Argyle the Rat in the vents, who really likes wires and eating them. Meanwhile, Zalia and Wendy infiltrated the hostage situation downstairs, being run by Hans Gibbener and Pillsbury, who, for legal reasons, I must point out, is not the dough boy, more a dough man. And watched in horror as Hans revealed that he was in fact going to bake first 4 and then 20 bakers in the pie if his demands were not met, and that he suggested that they go off and retrieve some ingredients for him. When they did, Wendy took advantage of the situation and attacked Pillsbury, blowing one of his feet off with one of her
sticky gumdrop
grenades. So Pillsbury is now spread all over a stairwell. Wendy and Zalia are rushing in to finish off the job, and Pillsbury is extruding Fantastic Four style towards them. What are you two doing?
Sounds like they need to dodge.
Oh, so definitely, I'll go left, you go right.
Yeah.
Should they each roll 1 die to see how the dodge goes?
1 dice, yes, please.
And that's a 5.
Keeps getting caught in my glove. I also got a 5.
Ooh, that is
Oh, okay. So
a
we get a
perfectly
legitimate
baked
piece of
success.
that. We get a legitimate Charlie's Angels wirework moment of this column of dough hurtling towards you, and the pair of you somersaulting sideways out of the way. What are you doing?
So I think we've established that our kit includes pretty much anything we can think of.
That
So
is correct.
I'm going to pull out my small but tactical flamethrower. I mean, you know, for baking, for doing the tops of creme caramels and so
Yeah,
on.
of course. You're going to brulee him to death.
We're going to bake this
Yeah.
sucker so he can't move.
Okay, Zalia.
Sounds good. I'm going to use my hot sauce icing.
Okay, so
Is this
You
maybe
sa-
a combined action?
I think it is. So I think that is a
Let's
let's say 2 dice each.
let's take a look at their stats. So Ash has got the icing kit, so they
Yeah.
get to roll 2 dice. Pepper has got their sticky gumdrops as well, so she gets to roll 2 dice. What do we got?
I've got 2 6s.
I got a 5 and a 4.
I only get to take one of them though, don't I? But I got a 6.
Yes, you do.
That sounds like an awfully perfectly baked success to me.
Baked.
So perfectly baked. You jam the icing into his chest and snarl as you push the trigger and it all shoots in.
Traitor!
And you, yeah, you just over him.
I'm seeing the
There
blowtorch like set off a line of magnesium icing, which acts like a line of gunpowder, even though it shouldn't. And this perfect outline of him has baked into the wall behind them.
Pillsbury kind of spasms once and then just locks in place. Got him. You baked him.
Right.
Now what?
I'm going to walk away, putting sunglasses on and making a quip of that's what we call overbaked or something.
Oh, thank the baker, that worked. Right. Back to the ballroom, I guess.
You are aware that all of this has made
Apples.
some noise.
We need apples.
You need apples.
And
Also-
to not be here.
Wendy, as you turn away from Pillsbury, you hear a noise. It's a small one, but it's very distinct. Walkie-talkie squelch
Oh.
coming from somewhere in him.
Oh. Right. I'm going diving. I'll have a rummage.
Okay.
And oh god.
You find it pretty easily. Pull it out. I mean, Pillsbury's good dough, so it doesn't stick too much. It's
still not nice though, is it? It's nasty.
it's a walkie-talkie, standard tactical issue one. Squelches again.
Okay. I give it a squelch back.
Okay. Pillsbury, come here. Not a voice you recognize.
I feel this is for you because I have the wrong flavor of voice for this. So,
Okay.
dude.
I'll take
Well,
the
Ash,
radio.
You are the brains of the outfit.
I'm going to grab a lump of dough and speak through it to get the appropriate timbre to the voice.
That's very good. Well done. Also disgusting. Pillsbury, call in.
I'm here.
Data's report. Where's Governor?
What was that? I couldn't hear.
think you have to lose the accent, Alasdair. Sorry.
Where is Gibboner?
Do we recognise this voice?
Hold on a second. Agent Eastwood. Yes, Agent Eastwood. Take the call. Here's the sound of two men clearly arguing over who should be holding a walkie-talkie. You're pretty certain there's coffee in there somewhere. They're probably in a car. You think they might actually be in a drive-through? And then this much lighter voice goes, Pillsbury calling. Situation update, please.
Wendy asked if they recognize this voice.
You do not.
I have a really bad feeling about this. I think we might just have done something awful.
Wendy, would you like to have a look at Pillsbury's newly baked form while Celia is on the walkie-talkie?
Yes, I would.
Okay, so you kind of gingerly run your hand across the baked sections of his torso. And about here, you get three letters. F, B, I.
Oh, crap. Oh, crumbs. Oh, crumbs. Oh, okay.
So the federal
okay.
baking investigation.
Yes!
Oh,
The federal
okay.
baking
okay.
investigations.
Pillsbury squelch twice if you can't talk.
I'm gonna squelch it twice.
Understood. Eastwood out.
Ash, I think we've done something terrible. I think Pillsbury might have been on our side.
We have to just keep going.
We have to keep going.
We had no knowledge. There were other agents here. We have our mission.
Okay.
You can blame it on Gubner.
Apples.
So-
We need apples.
Apples! Yes, apples!
Yes,
Let's do
get
apples!
some apples. Then everything will be fine.
Meanwhile, upstairs,
La 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 la, my new little buddy Argoyle. La la la.
so you look for the fire suppression system, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that one. Love a good whoosh. All right, and he leads you through into kind of one of the central halls of the venting system. And you can see that there's kind of cables running all the way down. There's 4 of those big air vents running from the bottom. And then he points up at the center of the cables and goes, all right, this is a really fun bit, yeah? There's actually 2 ways to do this. If you go outside, it's just a switch. And if you don't, if you want to do the really fun one, you see the cables over there, right? And the big button in the middle of them. Yeah. Well, the guy designed this tower, right? It played a lot of video games. I mean, a lot. Loved mini games. I once had to take 6 photographs to get an ID pass. It was terrible. Anyway, apparently he worked out this thing where you got to try and kind of sail across the vents to get to the thing and push the thing, which I'm pretty certain violates every health and safety regulation on Earth. I mean, it's like having to use semaphore to call the fire department. But, I mean, we work for Santa. Rules are different here. So what do you want to do? Do you want to do like just the outsidey thing with the button, or do you want to do this?
Argyle, my friend, would you like to break some health and safety regulations?
That's what I live for, mate. Oh, it's brilliant. All right, then. So what you're looking at is a central column with various cables kind of hanging down in a loose square with the button in the middle of them. And then there are 4 of the fume cupboards on each corner of this, each one of which appears to be running at various severities, and they cut off in sequence. What you're going to have to do is glide across one, wait for it to cut off, power glide across to the next, hoping you get the right one in sequence for it to then lift you so you can turn around, get to the 3rd one, then as that cuts off, sail down towards the button.
Yeah, so the designers weren't the only one who liked video games, is what you're saying. I'm wondering if maybe Keith's swirly humbug eyes and his wide spectrum vision might be of assistance here.
Keith is going to do some maths.
Roll some dice for me.
Yeah. So is that? I mean, I'm not by myself anymore because I have a friend now. So I assume that's only 2 dice still.
But I think your eyes apply, don't they? So that's 2 dice?
Yeah.
2 dice to roll.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's a 1 and a 2. The maths has
Oh
betrayed me.
no.
Crumbs!
Okay. So you kind of crack your gingerbready knuckles and you're like, stand back, Argyle. Watch. This is gonna be awesome. You leap off at the exact moment the air column that you're aiming for turns off. And you get the actual Buzz Lightyear moment of "Huh." You are plummeting towards the ground. As you can hear Argyle go, yeah, actually that looks alright. You'll go very fast.
It's like I
think you
told
might
you,
be quite-
Argyle.
I
It's
think
like
you
I told you. You gotta start off being bad at something.
All right, you are plummeting now. You're like 6, 7 stories off the ground. What are you doing?
Well,
I would like to not hit the floor.
Okay. There are cables all around you on all sides, all 4 sides of the walls, and there is the fume cupboard directly beneath you.
I'm going for a cable. The cable
Going for-
served me well before. I only lost some of my hand.
Okay, so give me another dice roll.
how many dice is that?
I think 1.
1 die.
One.
Yep.
This is going to go well. I've thrown that one on the floor. It's a 3.
It's a 3.
That's a success.
That's a success. I mean, the hand's already mangled, so you figure how bad could it be, right? You jam it between 2 cables, and instantly they shear off lumps of the hand. But your gamble pays off because as the cables come to a stop, there's still just about enough, and it's not the hand you use anyway. It's fine, you know. There's just about enough of the hand left for you to close around the bottom of the cable trunking. There's a moment of silence. You realize perhaps it's possible you're getting too old for this shit. And then you realize that's never going to happen. Distantly, a reedy little rat voice goes, "You're right.
Had worse.
Yeah, I'll bet. Hang on. I'll hold on to something. No, not that. The other thing. Hang on. And the cables that you are holding onto slowly begin to move as Argyle begins hauling them back up the building. The fume cupboard will probably come back on in a minute. If it does, just kind of think floaty thoughts. I'll do that. All right. So, a couple of minutes pass, and then the fume cupboard comes back on, and you go float back up. And it's actually pretty nice. I mean, you're in some pain, obviously, but quiet in here. It's kind of contemplative. You know, you still got some hand. You've had worse days. I mean, not Tuesdays, because honestly, fuck Tuesdays. But you've had worse days than this, for sure. So eventually you come back up, and the fume cupboard is kind of holding you in position. What are you going to try and do?
I'm going for the button again.
Going for the button again? Okay.
I will learn nothing.
I have used my power. I learned nothing.
Still 2 dice?
Still do dice.
Still 2 dice. One of them was a 5 this time.
Okay. Sometimes forward somersaults just happen. This is one of those times. The fume cupboard powers up. You realize now that the fume cupboards were doing this thing where they got more powerful before they turned off. And if you'd spotted that the first time, that was the one thing you missed. You would have been all right. It powers up, brings you level with the button. You gracefully swim forwards out of the current of air, forward somersault, mash your mangled hand into the button. Nail another superhero landing.
Anil says marzipan.
Oh dear.
Anil.
Anil.
Cane au chocolat.
Kel.
You take a moment to think about just how badass that looked. You bet the other two haven't done anything that badass yet. And you're just thinking that when there is a clang behind you. You look around, and Argyle has positioned a ladder, a very wide ladder. It's very easy to use from where you were standing across to where the button is.
Where did that come from?
He
Thank
looks at
you,
it.
Argyle, my friend.
Health and safety, right?
Yep. Make sure
Or-
you're wearing your high vis.
Always fun the first. I never take it off, mate. He
What you
turns
need
his-
to do with this, you need these ladders, you've got to maintain 3 points of contact with them at all times.
free, right?
Yep,
So that's
free.
like a tail and both feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. It's dead easy. All right. Did you turn the mushy stuff on?
I think so.
Great. What do you want to do now?
Oh, well, I'd probably head down back to and then we'll need to head to the ballroom. There should be Whoosh in there by now, hopefully.
Oh, that sounds great.
And then
then-
I've got some friends. You're gonna love them.
I like friends.
Yeah, they're not for eating either. But there'll be plenty for you to eat later.
Oh, brilliant. And that's when you hear it. The sound of a pandroid. And we will leave you there for now. Team Apples.
Team Apples and not
Right.
double agent murder. On it.
Apples and guilt. A lovely combination.
Team Apples, guilt, and negligent possible homicide. How have you been?
So I'm thinking we just kind of get a couple of big bowls of apples and take them back with us and say that Pillsbury's right behind us.
Not sure they're going to buy it. They're twitchy enough as it is.
Or he had to go and deal with a Bramley situation or something.
I just want you to note down that I have just written down the Bramley situation as a possible sequel title.
I think if you do another one, Anil needs to be involved because the puns will be unstoppable.
Right. I think we'll have to bring Al into it. I agree.
Bramley situation. The Kipling Protocol.
Exceedingly good.
Anil says, sure thing. Okay, you heard it here, folks. Next year for Christmas, the Bramley situation.
I may have made some notes for Pie Hard 2, Pie Harder. Or possibly 2 Pie to Purious.
The
Actually,
chat suggests that maybe Pillsbury went to buy more cinnamon.
It's weak and I'll take it.
Or maybe now is a chance to drop the cover and go about some sneaky sorts of actions while the distraction you've been waiting for occurs. Pie 2
Okay.
Electric Boogaloo was also recommended by the chat.
Oh, do we have any idea? Has the fire suppressant
Has
gone
there
off?
been a
has-
whoosh?
Has there been a whoosh? There has yet to be a whoosh.
Right. So let's grab some apples and head back. And what do we reckon? There were like a baker's dozen of croissants and some humans. Were there some humans? I can't remember if
There were a few humans.
bad
Yeah,
humans.
yeah.
And the army guy himself. So that's not a problem, really, is it? You know, you can handle most of that on your own, and I'll just.
They didn't seem invested in the job. I
True.
think there's a lot of discontent that we could ferment.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, so this worked. The whole stick the guy down and then deal with the situation afterwards, that worked. We could try that again with the gibbon.
That worked?
It worked. It turns out it shouldn't have, and it would have been better if we'd maybe waited another 2 or 3 steps. But I mean, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but I'm fairly certain that the gibbon ain't going to turn out to be a double agent.
You're staking your reputation on that
I'm
one, are you?
just, it's only a suggestion.
I thought we were getting apples, not steak.
Hey! There it is.
Right.
The look of disappointment on your face.
I swear to the baker. Right. Let's get some apples and get back there.
Okay, so you head up to one of the supply rooms, and you are just entering it when you hear this clanking noise. It gets closer.
Rush inside the
closer.
supply room
Mm.
and
Closer.
hide behind the door.
Yep.
Okay, so it is the same noise which I described to Ducky earlier. It's the sound of servos moving and you get a good look at it, moving a gingerbread person tin, each limb with a servo attached to it, and an icing gun crudely wired into both hands.
I missed that detail before.
And it just it's one of those things where every time it moves, the hydraulics sound disappointing, or sound disappointed. It's like, oh man, yeah,
Does it have a terrible pain all down its diodes?
yes, it does. So you're hiding in the supply cupboard as Marvin the homicidal pandroid trundles past. He stops at the door and goes, and you can see someone has drawn a little smiley face on the head. Stares through the slats. You can't quite tell whether or not he's seen you.
We're not moving. Nobody's moving. No movement here. Not moving. So
In later years, when you recount this story, much in the same way as Ducky will talk about how awesome the explosion in the vent was, you will both be absolutely convinced that even though the Pandroid had no shoulders, you saw it shrug.
Did it make a little squeaky noise?
Turns. It's like slow motion punching a Wookiee. That's kind of the sound effect of it moving around. Chewie, stop it.
So that thing wasn't on our side, right?
Don't think so.
Okay. Let's not meet that again. Okay.
Okay, what are we doing?
Apples.
Apples.
Are there any heirloom varieties?
There are several. There are several heirloom varieties. There
I
are
will
some
take a selection.
carefully. You don't get into character. You vanish into character. You inevitably, there are some of those kind of mushy bullshit apples, the ones which are just made of water and failure, and you just think, not on my watch. You find some delicious apples, then you take them back downstairs.
Crisp and crunchy and fragrant.
What did you do with the walkie-talkie? Remind me.
Probably still have it.
Okay, it squelches again.
I'm gonna squelch it back.
Okay. You're just at the bottom of the stairs. And you notice two things. You are still pretty high up on this floor. Like I say, you're on like the 38th floor, so you get a pretty good view. And you can see how the city doesn't really change under you. It's just one of those kind of ambient, constantly shifting networks of light that movies love. Except a lot of those lights are red and blue now, and flashing, heading your way.
I mean, that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. That's good, yeah?
Not sure red lights are
Mr.
usually a
Simpson,
good thing.
when was the last time a siren was a good thing?
No, but like, you know, they're good guys. We're invested with bad guys. Back up. It's back up,
Walkie-talkie
okay?
squelches again.
Oh. Are you going to
Again,
answer that?
and again, and again,
Yep.
and again.
Yeah, I'm gonna squish it back.
Okay. The voice on the other end, the first voice, the one that was hard to follow, goes, 30 seconds out. Be ready.
I think we might need to break cover here. I mean, I don't know about you, but I want to know for what.
Where are you having this conversation? You are at the moment just outside the ballroom.
I mean, just outside the ballroom. Obviously not immediately in front of any hench croissants. I mean, it sounds like all it's all going to break loose in about 30 seconds. So maybe we should actually talk to them. Do you think? Perhaps a bit?
If they're already 30 seconds out, I don't think there's much time we can do.
They might need to know that their fella is a bit otherwise
I don't
engaged.
think that's going to stop them.
In the ballroom, you hear Gibbona go, "Good, everything is going according to..." And the ceiling drops out of the room. Somewhere, a tiny little rat voice goes, "Fucking right on." Just it starts to rain. It's just plummeting down in there. The croissants make angry noises and flee for shelter. The bakers take advantage of this and try and stampede. There's a whole bunch of folks coming towards you. What are you doing?
Let's open the doors and let the bakers out.
Okay, so you throw the doors open. I'm going to need a
occurs to me-
D6 roll from both of you to make sure that you're not being stampeded.
Okay.
It does occur to me we probably don't want to go in there if it's wet.
Yeah. 6.
Okay, you grab the door and just kind of slide it out of the way, just looking super cool. Wendy, you kind of get dinged by the door that you throw open, but you hang on to it. It looks fine. The bakers all stampede out, and a single gunshot rings out, and they all stop. And then you find out what a homicidally furious gibbon sounds like. There is a methodical, wet, plodding sound as Hans Gibboner strides out of the room, the bakers all parting around him. He walks forwards. He looks at the baked remains of Pillsbury in the stairwell and goes. Then walks directly up to one of you. Is it apples, please? Thank you. Places the bowl on the ground, stands on it so he has something approximating a podium. Empties a magazine from the rifle he's carrying into the ceiling, reloads it. They are going to the roof. No one moves. He yells, "Now!" And the bakers all start running upstairs.
Has he actually noticed us? Hanging
Well,
on
he
to the
took-
doors?
Oh, of course, you were on the
Yeah.
doors, weren't you?
So I don't know about Ash, but I just barely made my roll, so I'm kind of hanging onto the back of the door, having been squelched against the wall.
I am a door handle.
Hello.
Maybe they could roll a relevant skill to see if they've hidden.
I just rolled for Gibboner, and he got a 2. So crumbs. So Gibboner
Wendy
watches.
has gone full cat poster.
Gibboner steers all the remaining cooks upstairs. One very soggy croissant stumps out after him, brings the tip of his head out, and just stomps upstairs. This is bullshit. Buff. Gibboner pats him reassuringly on the back and goes, "Not worry, John. Everything is going according to plan." And follows them.
So, to recap, the two of them clinging to the back of the double doors of the ballroom, drenched in water, as the doors slowly reclose with the two of them on the inside to a now abandoned ballroom.
Yes.
Well, all right then.
So your terrorist and all of his hostages went that way.
Yes.
Okay. Is Keith here?
Keith,
Now.
you note with interest that all of this has unfolded, conveniently located directly outside the venting that you are currently standing upon. So you get a really good view of the croissant getting very, very wet, which Argyle is super happy with. Oh, it's brilliant. I barely even had to chew that. Great. All the bakers rushing out, and you hear a kind of as the doors slam open, which kind of tells you where your teammates are. What are you doing?
I am gonna sort of kick the vent through, and then I would like to descend with an umbrella up, like Mary Poppins, down with Argyle.
Fantastic. Okay, so you two are just kind of unpeeling yourself from the doors. And Wendy, you've just said, has anybody seen Keith? When there is the thump of an umbrella being opened. And Keith descends perfectly between the pair of you.
With the rat held like a carpet bag.
Evening.
Yeah, he has Argyle on hand. Argyle is a large rat in a high-vis vest and a little baseball cap, who picks himself up, dusts himself off. Look, he is, all right.
Hi. Dude, good timing. Let me explain. No, there's too much. Let me summarise.
Buttercup is Mary Humperdinck a little less than half an hour.
So, turns out Pillsbury might have been a double agent. That's a little unfortunate because he's now kind of stuck to a stairwell. Moving on from that, there's a lot of blue and reds heading this way. And they're probably about to hit. And everyone else has gone to the roof. And I think we should probably follow them. Now, they've got to be down to what? Well, they've got to be down to less than a dozen. Fewer, sorry, than a dozen croissants. Now, so what do we reckon? 6, 2 each?
I think we can do that.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, where you go, gents, and I'll be right here supporting you as we go. Kind of feeling that whenever I take the initiative, things go a little bit badly wrong. So I'm just going to play a supporting role in this one, I think.
How are you getting to the roof?
Gumdrops at the ready.
Is there a lift?
There are several lifts.
Ooh, are they fancy lifts?
A very fancy
We
lift.
want to get the fanciest lift.
Yeah, and but I'm just gonna head out, briefly peering down the stairwell and see Pillsbury there, and go, oh, Pillsbury, it shouldn't have gone this way.
His eyes are still moving, and he's just kind of locks eyes with you. You have an action hero kind of dude moment. Just
I'll come back for you, and I'll bring a spatula.
I'd just like you to know I feel really guilty, okay?
From inside his baked shut mouth, syllables are definitely formed, and you're pretty certain it's one of two things. It's either, it's cool, these things happen, or I'm going to sue you for every penny you have. It's certainly one of them.
I'm a gingerbread cookie. I have no money.
I'm sure the Muffin Man has insurance.
The Muffin Man.
Muffin Man.
There goes the chat, single brain cell.
But yeah, to the lift.
To the lift.
Yeah.
To the
Argyle kind of goes, "Oh, we could take the fancy one, right? I've got a card for it."
Right.
And you notice that bless him, he actually has like a little swipe card on an elastic thing on his belt, which is rat-sized.
Oh.
Do I get like a gun or anything?
I'll give him a tube of icing.
Oh! Got another one.
None that would be safe for your consumption.
If I were to give you a gumdrop, would you promise not to eat it? These gumdrops, they're for throwing, not eating. Throwing. Not eating.
Gumdrops are friends, not
Frankly, the
food.
gumdrops are part of me at the moment, so if you ate it, it'd be kind of weird.
I think that was what I needed to hear. I would be honored to hold the gumdrop and then hurl it from my person when you say
Here,
so.
have a gumdrop. Would you like a red one, a blue one, a green one, a yellow one, or a purple one?
Yes.
You can have one of each. I've got plenty.
Thank you. Argyle sticks his little card in his little rat height card slot. The lift doors close and you are hurled upwards.
Is there
So how
music?
fancy is this lift?
Floors are carpeted, floor to ceiling mirrors. There is an espresso machine in here. You also notice that there is a water bottle at rat height for Argyle, because Santa is a very kind of equal opportunities employer. In fact, Argyle takes a swig from this as you're going upstairs, swallows and goes, "Yes, there's others that have got couches in them and that, but they had for a bit, but then people didn't leave."
I assume instead of piped music, there is a full string quartet in one corner. Who
They
are
take requests.
Do they have a menu that you can make selections from?
This actually happened to us. One of the places in Venice we had lunch had a live you were handed the menu, and you're also handed the music menu, which you then pass to the band, and they will play the music you request as you eat the food you've ordered. Yes. It's pretty fancy, y'all. So you get to the roof, the doors open on anarchy. The bakers are running everywhere. Hanson, his remaining croissant, are like hauling them all into one place. There's a pair of helicopters circling the whole thing. What are you doing?
Who's at the helicopters?
Well, they have FBI on the side.
Okay, let's go with they belong to the FBI then.
Yes. Could you all please roll 1d6 for me?
4.
6?
Are there any
6.
special abilities that apply here?
Possibly. Zalia, remind me what your special ability is.
Ash's role is brains, and their
Yeah, and I've got-
decoration is the icing kit.
Ash and Keith. I love when this happens. I love when a role perfectly reflects the narrative skills of the characters involved. Pepper, you're still kind of like, oh, I kind of killed the Fed a bit. Oh, I'm gonna get dead yelled at. I might need some more gumdrops. Oh, so you're good. You're focused, but you're not quite in the zone. Keith and Ash, the moment the doors open, you both notice something odd and worrying. Both notice wiring running the width of the helicopter pad on the roof, all of which is connected to large, very familiar pipes running up to the pad. Icing pipes. And because you have that situational awareness thing, because Ginger 6 only trained the best. So as you take all of this in, you can see the bakers, you can see the helicopters, you can see the kind of imminent anarchy, and you see this icing rig set up around it. And then you realize it's a trap. This is French icing. It's going to detonate, and it's going to bake solid.
What's
What are you
everybody doing?
Argyle, my friend.
All right.
My good new friend. You see those wires?
Yeah, I got 'em.
You like chewing them?
Oh, I love chewing them. It's great.
Go chew them.
Argyle lopes over to the wires and yells just bestial rat war cries. His jaw unhinges and he just shoves them all into his face. There is a hum of electricity. His tail goes ramrod straight. He's kind of vibrating. And at the exact moment where you're getting a little bit worried, this tiny little rat hand reaches behind him and goes,
Argyle for MVP!
He bites through him. The wires separate, and he just kind of slumps a little bit. You realize he's actually smoking slightly, and all his fur is standing on end.
I would like to put a hand on his shoulder, probably not the mangled one. Tell him, you've done good. There'll be a spot for you in Ginger 6 if you want it.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. I think I'll just have a little.
He's just gonna take a little sleepy now.
I will put my umbrella under his head as a sort
Aw.
of pillow.
Oh. Okay, so the icing bomb is diffused. Let's say diffused because masticated would just sound weird.
Ew.
Give me another individual dice roll, all three of you.
5.
6.
2.
Again, I love this.
So while Keith is distracted, tucking in Argyle.
Yes. Zalia, you notice the FBI helicopters have landed, and they're doing that thing the FBI does where they're not quite sure what's going on, which is shouting at people and getting them to kneel down and maybe arresting everybody now and apologizing later. Wendy, there is no gibbon on this rooftop,
Oh, crumbs.
and there is no croissant either.
Where are the bad guys? There are no bad guys here. The bad guys have gone. Where's the gibbon? We've lost the gibbon. There's a gibbon on the loose. Somewhere in this building, we've lost the gibbon. Where did the gibbon go?
Gibbon down. We've got a gibbon down.
A gibbon down. I repeat, a gibbon down.
The chat wants everybody to know that the FBI are taking people into custody.
Oh, God.
Chat.
Thank you, Cat.
oh.
Anil, I saw that. Just.
Chat. Chat.
Okay, you flag down a baker, and their first response is, "Holy shit, Mary Berry, what are you doing here?"
No time for that. Where did the gibbon go?
He ran downstairs.
Which stairs? Those stairs?
Yes.
Come on, lads.
Okay. You all run downstairs. With
attentively and looking where we're going.
yeah, obviously not just go, yeah.
Oh.
Fuck. Yeah, that's not happening. You know, not the full on Eddie Izzard. No. You run downstairs. You can hear the sound of drilling very quickly. Just that kind of entire building vibrating as you realize that something is being drilled, earthworked. There's construction equipment happening, and you're on like the 38th story. As you leave the roof, by the way, you can see the agents Yeastwood and Yeastwood have successfully landed. I was going to land that joke if I had to die doing it, and are helping the SWAT guys take statements. So obviously the FBI are going to be tied up upstairs. So you run down to back to the main plaza, and you see the back wall of the office that Hans Gibbener was working in has been removed. There is a huge drill in place, a drill with an iced gem at the far end of it, the most dangerous cutting surface known to man. And Hans and his last croissant are standing near it. What are you doing?
With their backs conveniently to our party from the
Yes.
down the stairs.
I am going to pull out an icing bag and squirt it at the drill to gum it up.
Okay, give me a roll.
How many should I roll?
That's going to be brains and equipment, so I'm thinking 2.
Oh, that's Keith. Sorry, Ash. Brains and the equipment. So that's 3 dice, Keith.
Okay.
3
3
dice.
dice, Ash.
How are we on ad breaks, by the way?
We're doing good. We've still got 30 minutes until our next one, but we can take one whenever you want. So just let me know if you're like, this is a good place for a dramatic pause, okay?
Okay.
What have we got,
That
Ash?
was That was 2 6s and a 3.
All right, so we've got another
Fucking
perfect
hell.
bake. Well done.
Okay, so our damp Armani wearing primate is in the middle of enthusiastically directing this drill when it's suddenly just gummed up. I'm thinking you probably used ferrous metal icing, you know, that cool black stuff that just goes instantly spiky and hard.
Sure.
Yeah,
Totally
why not?
normal thing.
The croissant goes merde and kind of steps backwards. Hans looks at it for a moment, up and down, and without turning around goes, I am beginning to suspect that you are neither Paul Hollywood or Mary Berry.
While he's distracted, the whole wall is missing, right?
Yes. There's
Open onto nothing, right?
opens it. Oh, I should have been more specific. The wall has been removed, and there is a metal vault directly behind it
That they were
the
drilling.
ice gem drill is attempting to go through.
Oh, it all becomes clear.
Although, for dramatic reasons and possibly reasons pertinent to the source material, if you needed a hole in the building quite nearby, I'm saying it's quite plausible there could be one.
I mean, there's a lot of glass windows in there.
Yeah, I just, you know,
Okay, so what I'd
would a
like
map
to do?
help?
Oh, come on!
I'll draw you a map. Draw you a map.
I want to push this. I want him. I want him gone. I want him off my floor. Okay, off my floor,
He
out of my
needs
building.
yeeting.
He needs yeeting.
He needs to be
yeeting
sent home.
so
He is not
badly.
Star Baker.
Exactly.
He so needs to go home. So
He's unfortunately, I don't think, currently near a window. You'd have to lure him either back up onto the roof or in front of a window and then apply force.
right. Okay. So luring him towards a window. Yes. Okay. I'm coming up dry here, folks. I'm coming up dry.
Should we
Daryl.
perhaps
would
take a little break to
remove-
give everybody a moment to think?
I think that's a very good idea.
Okay, that sounds like a great idea. Chat, we're going to take another little ad break here, probably about 3 minutes. So
Just see what
if you
else in the
haven't
chat.
moved since we've started the stream, it's been 2 hours. So this is a good chance for you to get up and have a little stretch, get a drink refill, see if anybody in your household needs a snack or medications. It's also about 11 o'clock here in the UK, so if some people need to go to bed, you might want to go say goodnight to them. We'll be back in about 3 minutes, everybody.
Previously on this stream that is still ongoing now in present time, we are playing Pie Hard, which is an adventure I have written, let's say written, for Ginger 6, a Christmas card-sized RPG done by some excellent friends of ours. In this, our incredible mods, Ducky, Zolia, and Wendy are highly trained counterterrorism gingerbread people fighting off the evil plan of Hans Gibbener, an erudite and articulate German terrorist Gibbon, and his weaponized croissant, the angry French baked goods which he has brought with him, who has been attempting to locate the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man. He's been attempting to locate the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man.
Muffin Man.
Who lives on Drury Lane? There
Who
we
lives on
go.
Drury
Stop
Lane?
it! Gotta close the lyric, folks. All right. Having had a brief altercation with Pillsbury, who turns out might have been a double agent for the FBI,
Yeah, I do feel bad
Yes.
about that.
Pepper and Ash have returned to the main ballroom where they've reunited with Keith and Argyle, the beloved pipe rat, who chased everybody up to the roof where the FBI helicopters had arrived. Argyle extinguished himself for the evening by chewing through the wires to defuse the French icing bomb. And then Pepper realized that Gibbener was missing, so they ran back downstairs and found them trying to drill into the vault hidden behind the ballroom. So that's where we pick up the action. Just one more quick really thing. Stick around until the end of the stream tonight, everybody, because we have our annual fan art showcase to wrap us up with after the module concludes. All right, Gibbener, what did you just say?
I am beginning to suspect you are neither Paul Hollywood or Mary Berry. He turns and has that wonderful German aristocratic villain thing of, all of this shit is beneath me. I am soaking wet. I have been exploded. Shortly, people may well be shooting in my general direction. This means nothing. He looks you up and down and says, yeah, Keith, familiar with your work.
I
Am I-
am quite familiar with yours as well from tonight, but I have one thing to say to you. And I
And
whip
what?
off my glasses and I will stare directly into the Gibbon's eyes with my swirling hypnotic gumdrop eyes. And I will tell him, I have seen the Muffin Man.
Roll it.
That sounds like 2 dice to roll to me.
It does.
2 dice. That is a 1 and a 6. So
Overwhelming success!
Tension.
Yes.
He kind of goes slack. The Muffin Man.
the Muffin Man,
You have seen the Muffin Man.
I have, and his palm was with him. And he's just up on the roof. Why don't we show you the way?
The Muffin Man.
Yes, the Muffin Man, this way.
I wish to see the Muffin Man.
You do, and we will take you to him.
I will follow you to the Muffin Man.
Excellent. To the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man.
Muffin Man.
Does he live on Drury Lane?
He does, but tonight he is here.
Oh, please take me to him.
We will.
Very
We
well.
are.
Thank you. Now we will go to the Muffin Man. And he just walks off. The croissant next to him is,
I'm not paid enough for this sheet. I'm out of here.
takes his damp berry off. Storms past you. Comes back in. Where is the federal agents?
I'll grab the croissant and yoink him off to one side. What are you talking about?
The feds, the ones who arrived upstairs. I'd seen the whole thing. The whole plan was they were going to go upstairs. We were going to take all the bakers upstairs. There'd be the icing explosion and the whole, oh no, everyone is trapped in the icing. It will take months for everyone to be chipped out. I am so smart and also a monkey. I'm from Germany for some reason. So this is why Alasdair is doing this accent, because he can't do the French one and the German one as well. So the feds would all be like, that's really, really simple, yeah, because obviously everyone's trapped into icing on the roof, and we must chip them out. That would take a long time. And while that's going on, the stupid monkey pants will be like, I'm going to go downstairs and access Santa's secret vault where his drones are, because I'm in the pockets of Big Pie. I'm so special. Look at my suit. I don't even eat bananas. I'm that classy a monkey. This is such a shit job. And then you can tell this is a very cathartic experience, and because your character is so empathic, he's just felt comfortable unloading all of this on you. And he takes a deep breath and actually kind of sniffles a bit and goes, "Merci.
Does that feel better
I think I needed that."
Okay. Let's do. Why don't you just sit down here for a moment, just to recover yourself. Let's have a bit of a calm down. Hopefully, without him noticing, I'm going to stick a gumdrop underneath where he's about to sit down.
I never wanted to be a mercenary, you know. I wanted to be a ballet dancer.
Oh, thank God you didn't say lumberjack. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Anyway, I'm going to stick you in place with the gumdrop.
Slightest. Roll 2 dice, Wendy.
Yeah, stream mum. That would be a 4 and a 5.
4 and a 5. Okay. I feel like I should just sit down.
I think you should just sit here and have a just be calm. Maybe think about what you've done. Perhaps contemplate other career options.
With a union.
You have many choices ahead of you. Unionisation, unions are a thing, a jolly good thing.
Representation.
Exactly. So, perhaps I'll just leave you here to do that for a few minutes, and then I'll come back and check in on you, okay?
So you just want me to stay here, yeah?
You just stay here. It's going to be fine. Everything will be fine, okay?
I'll be back in a few coffee? I was maybe going to dip myself a little bit.
You just... I think you should really just, take it easy. Take 5. And I'll come back and check in on you in a few minutes. All right, it's going to be okay.
No lamentation. No lamination without.
Do not lament your lamination.
It's very vitally important that you don't laminate.
I'm just gonna. Could you do me just one favor?
What's that?
Maybe just slaps a monkey a little bit. He's such a dick.
For you, I will ensure that somebody slaps the monkey.
Have you successfully put the gumdrop under his?
Yes, she did.
Yes.
Yeah, she
Okay.
Very successfully.
So he's stuck there now. He's quite comfortable.
Hopefully he won't even think of moving. But if he does,
he just gonna.
Okay, right.
Meanwhile, Keith has been leaving Hans up the stairs.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're having in-depth circular conversations about certain parties and whether or not they're on the roof. Which they are.
Whether or not the roof may or may not be Drury Lane. Yes.
L'ombre Muffino.
We're back to the elevator.
So I mean, obviously, when I see the Muffin Man, he'll be on the roof, and then I will get an in from him.
Yeah.
This will be good. It'll be good. Yeah. Okay. I'm very tired.
Yeah.
It's
I
been
understand.
a long night.
Schemes will do that to you, but it's all right because you're going to see the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man.
It's what you've worked so hard for all today.
We're all going to be.
My entire life.
Well, it's up there, but we're nearly there.
Dedicated to this moment, staring him in the face and telling him the truth. And what I will do. The lift doors open on the roof. And the feds are obviously still there with the helicopters. But there is one of the helicopters is there. The bakers are being led back downstairs. Agents Eastwood and Eastwood are kind of heading off with them. And some of the bakers just kind of glance across at you and are like, Are you going to react to them in any way?
Nope.
Very well. Good. The younger Yeastwood, the one who you can understand when he talks, is shepherding them out. You can see him muttering something like, "This is why I never work with a parent." Belly open his mouth and looks at you and goes, "Oh, hi, Federal Agent Eastwood, FBI. You're with Ginger 6, yeah?"
Yeah, I'd probably take out a slim black wallet from a pocket somewhere, hold it up at him without looking, and just keep walking.
Okay, so are you guys taking him in for interrogation? And Hans
Yep.
looks up at him and goes, "I'm going to see the Muffin Man." The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man, yeah, that is what I said. I feel like I've said this many times. I was across it tonight. The Muffin Man. What is wrong with you? Eastwood kind of looks at him, looks at you, looks at your shades, kind of adjusts his own. It is nighttime, by the way, and you are both wearing shades. Yeah, this one's all you.
So I'm going to keep leading the gibbon just further on. So there's a nice sort of clear blast radius with no one in it,
Very
and
well.
I'll probably then take him by the shoulder, just sort of gently turn him so that Ash can get a good angle, and just sort of. So I'm afraid no one sees the Muffin Man, and then I will just step back.
And what are the pair of you doing as this beautiful setup is concluded?
I will be there with a pressure icing tube.
Okay, what are you
High
gonna do with it?
pressure icing. I'm gonna blow him off the building.
You blow him off the building. Wendy,
what are you doing?
what are you doing?
I've having settled my really almost completely delaminated croissant in the ballroom downstairs, or downstairs. I've rushed up the stairs and I'm herring it over the roof towards the rest of my team, ready, if necessary, to leap in and support whatever they're doing.
Very well. Ducky, you set this up perfectly. You turn him around. You get the action movie snarl, and no one sees the Muffin Man. You step out of the way. Zalia, roll a dice. This will be both your. This will be 2d6. So
2 dice,
at least
yeah.
I would think.
5 and 4.
Great. You fire the icing. Ducky, you watch this high velocity jet of sugar paste, this sabot round of sugar paste, hurtle past at eye level. Time slows down. You see the individual crystals. You see the contra motion that Zalia's got on it. It's like that bit from Wanted, just without the awful stuff. You see it impact dead center on Hans's chest. And at the exact moment you see him do that, you see his eyes clear. Wendy, what are you doing?
Is he heading over the side of the building?
He's in full.
So he's fallen. He's definitely fallen.
He's in the process of falling.
He's falling. Okay, so I'm going to rush towards him and, if necessary, deliver the final.
Fantastic. As you do that,
does.
because this may have escaped people's notice, but Hans Gibbener is a gibbon. He has quite long arms. As he's falling, his eyes clear. One arm shoots out, grabs the front of Ducky's vest. The other one, because you're a little bit further away, has to go a bit longer and grab Zalia's. Both your teammates are now falling off the building with him. This is all happening in slow motion. This is the work of seconds. What are you doing?
Gumdrop in each hand. Slam the gumdrops down. Plant the feet on the gumdrops. Reach for my teammates. Grab their backs.
Roll every dice. Roll 3d6.
One of them was a 5.
Great.
Good.
You grab them, or the gumdrops that you drop on land. You plant your feet on one of them. You grab Ducky, Zalia is still falling. What are you doing?
Grabbing.
Ducky, what are you doing?
I'm gonna hurl a gumdrop at Zalia's back and try to reach to just plant myself onto that gumdrop.
All
so that we're
three
all
of you
stuck
roll
together.
2d6.
How many d6, sorry?
Sorry, would that me too? Or just them?
Yes, all three of you.
I got a
Well, I've
6.
got a 1 and a 2, so
I've
if
got a 1
anyone's
and a
going over this,
3.
it's me.
Okay, cool. Wendy, what you got?
3.
Great. Okay, you successfully land a gumdrop on Ducky's back. Ducky, you are just stumbling forwards. It's that awful point at the apex of when you get thrown, where you're like, oh, too much of my central gravity is in the wrong place. And at the exact moment where a voice that sounds remarkably Russian goes, this would be a cool way to die, suddenly you are yanked down and held in place. And you're like, but not today. Zalia, what did you get?
6.
You got a 6. Okay, you, in this fluid motion, just look up at this awful, awful monkey that is trying to drag you to plummety death, and just chop down on his on his arm. Something doesn't break, but you know that awful thing that happens when a muscle kind of twangs? Yeah, that happens. His watch flies off in slow motion, and just again that little voice in the back of your head goes, "You had a watch. Which tailor in London does Armani suits and watches for Gibbons? What the hell?" And you're still thinking this as he plummets off the side of the building. And we cut to this wide shot of Wendy gripping the backs of Ducky and Zalia, who are in turn partially over the building, looking so very cool, watching as Hans, lit by a spotlight, plummets down the side of it. Like, he's 20 floors down. There is a whoomphing noise. The Armani suit opens into a wingsuit.
Dun,
He
dun, dun,
loops.
dun, 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 dun.
He loops backwards, dives, swoops up the entire surface of the building, hurtles past the three of you, and yells, "Monkey see, monkey flew. Next time, assholes," and flies away.
I'm sorry, give me a second. Alasdair.
Roll end credits.
Congratulations.
Well done, everybody.
That was pie hard.
You're alive.
Thank you, Alasdair.
Oh, I wish we could play the Beethoven right now. That would be good. But just everybody think very hard about the string quartet in the elevator, and it's playing the end of Beethoven's Ninth at the moment.
So, obviously there is some cleanup from this. And, people find little kind of gingerbread person-size emergency blankets to put around your shoulders. And
Aw.
everyone makes sure that Agents Eastwood and Eastwood do not debrief you in any way, shape, or form. And as you're being led out and debriefed, this large red limousine pulls up outside. Oh, at the same time, a rat-sized gurney is wheeled past with Argyle on it,
With his little singed tail.
with his little singed tail, which has like a little bandage tied around it in a bow. I was like, did we win?
We so did.
Oh,
Kind of.
brilliant!
Yeah, you won.
You were the
Oh.
star baker.
Give him the handshake. Give him the
thank you.
handshake.
Give him the handshake.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
I open my coat, take out an identical pair of shades, and just give them to him.
That is the cutest thing I have ever seen. I'll go. Thanks, guys. I'll be. Red limousine door opens, and a voice from inside goes, "Well done, everybody." You, of course, instantly recognize it.
Is it the
As
Muffin
Emerson.
Man?
As
Muffin Man.
Muffin Man.
Muffin Man,
It's the Muffin Man.
all the way from Drury Lane.
All the way from Drury Lane. The license plate on the limo is in fact DR1YLN.
Of course it is.
You've done very well, agents. Let's get you patched up. Would you like a muffin? And then
More of the credits play.
more of the credits play. And then halfway through the credits, it cuts to Pillsbury, who is being chipped off the wall
Oh, poor Pillsbury!
by Agent Yeastwood. The young one, the older one is just kind of being kind of growly. And Yeastwood carefully kind of unzips Pillsbury's mouth and goes, "You okay, buddy?" "I'm all right. Did they get the monkey?" "No, he got away. He always gets away." "That's okay. I've got a plan. The 3 gingerbread people." "Yeah? Call them. We're going to need them for this." And then the rest of the credits finish.
So what was the name of next year's episode? What was it? Brambly something?
It's next year's episode is either going to be
Oh yes, and I agree with Stitch that there has to be an icing sugar outline of a gingerbread person.
yes, God, yes. It was either going to be the Kipling protocol,
It was Brambly something, wasn't it?
the Brambley situation, or Too Pie, Too Curious.
Two Pies, Too Furious.
Too Pie, Too Curious.
Two Pie, Too Furious.
And then the
Two
rest
pies, two purees.
Oh!
I can't help but notice that we never did resolve the oh shit, I can't remember what it was called, the Pandroid.
Okay. I can now tell you the 2 elements of this that you didn't quite get to. The Pandroids were going to be the security system for the building that Hans had successfully hacked. The idea being that because Drury Lane is quite cheap, they just take baking pans of gingerbread men and kind of robotize them a little bit, but not in a good way.
Like
So
in
the
a
Pandroids are all
Cybermen
just
sort
kind
of way.
In fact, if you'd interacted with them more, there would have been a reveal that their servos are actually fine. They just like making that noise.
Okay, for context for the stream, our refrigerator's broken, and it got repaired a couple of weeks ago where they rehung the door in an attempt to make it actually form a seal, and it makes that noise when you open and close it. It sounds like a goose being tortured. And Alasdair has decided that the only way to deal with this situation is to make the noise at the door louder in the first place. So
I mean, that makes sense.
Yes,
Yeah,
I will tangent alarm myself for this, totally. But though technically the module's over, so it doesn't count as a tangent. So yeah, life is imitating art.
Yes, I process my feelings through art. What can I say?
Yes, because mocking inanimate objects makes situations better. I love you. What was the other thing that?
Agent Yeastwood and Yeastwood is an elaborate Die Hard joke because there are 2 Agent Johnsons in Die Hard, Agent Johnson and Agent Johnson. And at one point, someone says, "Are you related?" And they're like, "No." And I was looking for a pun, and then I found a pun, and heaven knows you've all said Alasdair now. This is the ridiculous way my brain works. So when I need 2 federal agents with the same name, and I need a baking pun, Eastwood, Yeastwood. Scott Eastwood does films now. Clint Eastwood is a famous racist. Let's just have them as agents. It'll be fine. Which is why the senior agent Eastwood is like, shoot you in my mind. Because, I can't do American accents, which is why the younger Eastwood is like, all right.
Damn crackers.
Damn crackers. My Clint Eastwood impression is entirely Chris Evans in The Losers going, "Put your guns on the ground, or I'll put holes in you with my mind." And so it's probably a good thing you didn't bounce off them too hard, but they may show up in the second one. Who knows?
Yay!
That's it. Thank you.
Good job,
This-
everybody.
Great job, folks. This is abject nonsense, and you adapted to it beautifully. I'm very proud of you all. Thank you.
I hope you all
got
had a
the
good
joke.
time with it too. Fantastic. All right, everybody, let's do just a little bit of a recap. This is our last stream of the year. We will be returning to regular streaming on Sunday, the 15th of January, with even more the bonus episodes, I think, now of Dark Side Detective. And then we'll be
Yes.
back the following Wednesday, which I think the back of my brain says is the 18th of January, where we will be continuing the excellent Chapter 4 of Scarlet Hollow, though I
So good.
reserve the right to, do another playthrough on my own, not on stream, because I saw on Abby Howard's feed the other day, she said there's some people who've logged like 100 hours in the game already with multiple playthroughs, and I'm like, yes, that is brilliant. That sounds good. So this is our last stream for the year. So as is tradition, because we did it last year and we're doing it again this year, we will start the credits here in a second, and then do stick around for about a minute afterwards, because we will have our year-end fan art recap for you to enjoy as well. And everybody can have just a couple of minutes to calm down and chat and get ready for the rest of their evening. So thank you all very much for joining us
so
for this
much.
extended experimental nonsense, which was a great time. And we will see you in the new year. Have a fantastic holiday season. Have a safe, relaxing, enjoyable, cheese-filled, if that's for you, it is definitely for me.
A bit more cheese.
I have to have the adoration of the baby cheeses. It's my favorite
Still
part
eating
about the
cheese.
holidays. Huh? What,
Still
Wendy?
eating cheese.
Still eating cheese.
Still eating cheese. Oh, too much cheese. Oh, a little more cheese. Exactly.
A bit more cheese.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
And we're going to run the credits. I've been Marguerite.
I've been Alasdair. These have been our amazing mods.
Go ahead and say your names, folks. You've been Wendy.
I've been Wendy.
I've been Zalia, and hopefully will be tomorrow.
I have been and will continue to be Duck Pond.
That sounds
Yay!
great.
And this has been great. Have a great festive season, everybody.
Take it easy, everybody.
Bye.